SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C-Spire. Power your home or business with C-Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C-Spire. C-Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in on this Masters Friday, this Baseball Friday. There's a lot to get to. 3 guests, well, I guess technically 4. Coming your way as well. There's a twofer for the people coming up. Zach Selman, Charlie Winfield are going to answer questions, and a lot of you State fans have questions about what the heck is 1878? Where do I give my money? What's going on? What is this? All of those questions, and you know that there's a lot of those questions because I'm getting asked those questions, so you know it's in abundance. Hopefully those will be answered for you. That'll happen in the 5 o'clock hour. You've got 2 guests coming up to preview the baseball series this weekend. Beautiful weather, big crowds, big series, a lot of stakes coming up in Starkville and in Oxford. You've got the Masters going on and a whole lot more. We are so glad you're with us on this Friday. I'm Michael Borky. He's Brian Haydad, Sports Talk Mississippi, and this just happened. This cracks me up. Haydad, you got to find the video. So the Mariners are revealing a statue for Ichiro.
Sure.
Deserved.
Great player.
Yeah. And you know how when they do statue reveals, they have a cover over them, and they pull the cover off, and there's the statue.
I'm just reading what happened. Hold on.
They broke the bat on the statue, taking the cover off of the statue.
It's a statue. It should be made out of bronze.
Look at how easily that thing breaks.
What did they make it out of?
I mean, that looks like it's made out of cardboard. Manufacturer error for sure, but that's not a good omen for the future of the Mariners when you break the statue upon reveal.
That's a rough one.
Not good, but today's show will be good.
It will be good. And you know how I know that? Because you and I are here. And that's all you need to know. We are in the Pearl River Resort Studios, pearlriverresort.com. It's not too late to book a great weekend at Pearl River Resort, man. They've got rooms available and 5-star accommodations, 5-star dining, championship-level golf, great live entertainment. You can have a great weekend this weekend with a quick trip to pearlriverresort.com. C-Spire text line open to you, 601-879-4395. With C-Spire, it's easier than ever to get all the devices you want in one move with the Ultimate Connect bundle. Right now, new and current customers can get a free phone, watch, and tablet, plus 100 gigs of data for just $90. That includes the new iPhone 17 or Samsung Galaxy S26 for free, with a free smartwatch and a free tablet to go with it. What we say, that's more like Free Spire. So don't wait. There's more to see. Visit cspire.com or stop by your local C-Spire store today. C-Spire, inspired by you.
Over under 30 seconds. Watched Masters Friday for Brian Haydad. Under 30 seconds. Even highlights, nothing.
I just been doing stuff today.
Rory McIlroy.
The scores are down today. Oh, no, never mind. That's just for the day. Okay, now I see. Never mind.
But the scoring is not good. Tyrrell Hatton had a great day. He hit every single green. And unfortunately for him, 3-putt at 18. He shot 66. Should have been 65 today, but he 3-putt the last. He was awesome today. But the course, as the first text of the show from Marty says, a lot of defensive putting out there. He's exactly right. That the speeds and the crispiness of the course is starting to show its teeth a little bit. And apparently they watered it last night. And there's a chance that they start letting it go into the weekend. Mm-hmm. And So that might make it even more difficult. Rory McIlroy in the lead, though. He's at 7 under. Justin Rose at 5. Patrick Reed also at 5. Wyndham Clark got out early today, shot 68. Good round for him. The aforementioned Tyrrell Hatton went 74-66 to be right in the mix. He's at 4 under. As is Hao Tong Lee. Christopher Raitan. Hey, Dad, name that country. Where do you think he's from?
Christopher Raitan. That sounds like he is east, like the northern part of Europe.
Denmark is where he's from.
I was in the zone. I was going to say the Netherlands, but yeah.
Sam Burns, Jason Day, Tommy Fleetwood, all of them at 4 under. Chris Gotterup had a nice round today. The Masters rookie at 3 under. Brooks Koepka is in the hunt. He's playing well. He's at 3. You got Ben Griffin, Max Homa, Shane Lowry, Xander, all at 3. Hideki, the Masters champion, at 2 right now. That leaderboard's awesome. And, you go down to the even par range. You've got Ludwig there. You've got Scotty there, who... Scotty was terrified of the greens today. Missed a lot of short putts, drove the ball beautifully, hit the ball in the water on 13 and 15 with the second shot from the middle of the fairway. Lost a couple of shots on each of those holes. Weird stuff from him. But, you have got a leaderboard and a course that is setting up for a lot of volatility. Need Rory to come back to the field a little bit, though, because he's playing awesome. But leaderboard stacked. A lot of names that you even know, hey, Dad, up there.
I know some of those names, yeah.
And
sure.
Setting up for a fun weekend.
Yeah, it's good stuff. McIlroy going for back-to-back is obviously an incredibly fascinating and storyline.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
Who's the last back-to-back?
Is it Bubba? I think it's Bubba Watson.
Well, I like how you asked me after I asked you, because I don't know. I thought you might know.
Let's see. Back-to-back Masters winners. No, Bubba didn't win back-to-back. He just won 2. Tiger was the last one.
Tiger Woods. Wow. Okay, so that's been a while.
Yeah, been a long time. Bubba has just won 2. That's where I got backwards.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's a rare thing, though. It's
I would imagine this is the tough course.
Jack, Faldo, and Tiger.
We're talking about putting yourself in some top-notch company. The two greatest golfers of all time, I think most people would agree. And Faldo, certainly no slouch.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Ton of major championships. So, yeah, putting yourself in that group. You're already kind of in an elite group with the career Grand Slam, but if you can add back-to-back Masters, you become... You start talking about Rushmore stuff at that point. Yeah.
Kevin is wondering what crispiness of the course means. So what I mean by that is it's... If they do it right, which you don't want to go crazy, you don't want to overdo it, you don't want to quote-unquote kill it, but the drier and the firmer it is, the more difficult it becomes, and the more volatility is there, and there's a price on precision and stuff like that. You can't hold the ball in the green as well. The putts are faster. All of that, just everything gets more difficult. And so you can kind of see it, the tint of the greens in particular is it's not brown because Augusta will never let the grass ever turn brown like you'll get sometimes with U.S. Opens. But you can tell that they're letting it dry out a little bit. Jordan Spieth in particular was terrified of the greens today. You could tell. So that's what I mean by that is they're letting it dry out, and drying it out makes it more difficult. And in theory, more difficulty, especially in that place, equals more big swings, doubles, and also eagles, and the best players will kind of rise to the top. When you've got these Birdie Fest PGA Tour events, a lot of guys that don't have the game to win at a place like this can win those. It takes special to win in these conditions. So, yeah, anyway, that's what I mean by that. Literally just letting the grass dry out is what I mean by letting it get crispy like that. You kind of hear the crunch when you walk. They won't let it go that far because Augusta values the green, as you can imagine. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, let it dry out a little bit. I think they're working towards that. Dry this weekend. Weather is supposed to be spectacular here in the state of Mississippi, and too in this state. Southern Miss on the road this weekend. Very important series for them as well. But here in the state, within the borders of the state, 2 fascinating series, 2 places that are going to have huge crowds, and 2 not must win. But if State and Ole Miss are going to reach their goals as a team, these are series that you kind of got to win. Ole Miss is much
100%.
more in must-win territory than State is.
Well, but you say that, but State getting swept last weekend, you want to get back on track. You want to bounce back. This is a Tennessee team that's kind of down. You want to take advantage of that. And for Ole Miss, yes, you need to. Every series for Ole Miss has been the opposite, right? It went from lose to win to lose to win. You need to string together a couple of series in a row. So good start. And both State and Ole Miss are playing teams that, quite frankly, have not played up to the level that you expect from those programs. You don't expect
the team
LSU.
Doesn't match the brand right now.
Yeah, LSU and Tennessee, those brands and those teams, the results are not the same right this second. So, yeah, these are both must-win series for these two teams there in our state, and for Southern Miss as well. And it goes back to what we were talking about. I don't know if they can. Yeah, they're playing Louisiana, right? I don't think that's a series that you go down there thinking you can sweep. But, man, the Golden Eagles have got to start finding some 3-win weekends.
Definitely got to come back with 2. They got to
win the series, but they've got to find some 3-win weekends if they want to make sure that they're going to be hosting when we get to the end of May.
Ole Miss has a lineup out. I assume State does not. They're always closer to game time, but we'll give you the Ole Miss lineup. We'll look at the pitching matchups as well as when we come back, and then we'll get to the Farm Bureau guest line. Again, 3 times we will have guests, but 4 guests coming your way. So a loaded Friday show. And we're just glad that you guys are with us wherever you are, whether you're listening on one of our 12 stations or online at supertalk.fm or after the show and podcast. Just happy you're here. We'll be right back, though, talking baseball, hammering down the baseball conversation when we return.
From the Venable.
Come on. Are we going to do this? Back to Sports Talk, Mississippi.
Keep rolling. 3, 2, 1.
Super Talk, Mississippi.
Welcome back in Sports Talk Mississippi on this Baseball Friday. So glad that you guys are with us. Ole Miss has their lineup out. An interesting addition to the lineup. Tom Decker going to lead off, play second, obviously. Becerra in right. Udemark batting third, playing third. Furness batting fourth, playing first. Federico going to be in center, as always. Golden in left. That, like we talked about, that's just got to be permanent. I don't care about matchups, whatever. That's your guy. He's your left fielder, and live with. He's young. He'll, he's not going to be perfect, but it's not like you've had perfect in that spot all season anyway.
Right.
Just play him, and he's your best option there right now. Randall at short, Foley going to catch, and Owen Pano going to DH for Ole Miss. Did some productive stuff last week, and the options really haven't been good at DH either. And so he's getting a weekend shot. I know they really consider matchups and stuff like that, but they've struggled to find consistency at the plate all season, and especially at a couple of spots, left field obviously being one, DH being one, and Pano did some nice things, so now they're giving him a shot. I see nothing wrong with the decision here. It does tell you a lot about how they've been searching for answers in a couple of spots in the lineup, but who knows? Maybe the light bulb has finally come on for the super talented, what was expected to be shortstop for Ole Miss.
Yeah. I remember when he came in, there was a lot of he is the next. The Ole Miss shortstop position has been one where there's just been so many great talented guys, and they thought he was going to be the next one, and it just has not happened as of yet. So you said that he's had a couple of good moments these past few games. We'll see if that can translate, and maybe he can finally get things going.
Hunter Elliott against Kason Evans, the righty tonight. He's got a 5 ERA this season, 4.97 to be exact. Tomorrow, Cade Townsend opposite William Schmidt. And then, of course, on Sunday, Taylor Rabe and Grant Fontenot. He's got the best numbers of the group, but LSU has not pitched it well really all season. That is a clear point of advantage for Ole Miss this weekend, is pitching versus LSU pitching, starters and bullpen guys. That is Ole Miss clearly the better team in that category this weekend.
That's going to be the case for Ole Miss most times. Maybe not when they play Arkansas, but Ole Miss is one of the best pitching teams in the country. And so, they're definitely going to have the advantage most weekends. But this weekend especially, LSU is they're just not a good pitching team. You know, they win more often than not with offense, and we'll see if they can make that happen again. But
and here's on the flip side, here's that opportunity for Ole Miss. Then, if you are going to turn things around at the plate, because there are some people, maybe I'm just cynical, I'm not there yet, that look at what happened at the very end, the last inning of the Florida series, as, hey, the bats finally woke up. I need to see more than just one inning of production before I tell you the bats have finally woke up. Or I should say woken up. Or the bats have finally awoken, I guess would be more proper. Who cares?
Right.
But the point is, if you do not increase your production this weekend, then we can go ahead and mark down that's just who they are at the plate this season. If you're going to start hitting the baseball with consistency, if you're going to start supporting your pitching staff and producing runs and doing things with 2 outs and doing things with runners on and moving guys over and just having a nice, productive offensive weekend, if it's not this one, it will be none of them.
Tend to agree with you. I mean, you got that spark last weekend of winning that game in Florida. You know, honestly, I mean, we're being honest, probably a game that you would say Ole Miss should not have won. But sometimes when you win a game like that, it gives you the spark. Mm-hmm. And we'll see if that happens for Ole Miss. If they can win this series, the things they want to do in this season are still on the table for them, all right? Their RPI is very good right now. So winning these games, you know, you got a chance to host. And, you know, once you host, everything kind of takes care of itself. So, and they've got big series remaining. They can get into every discussion they want to be in, but but you're right, like it starts at the plate for this team. You know the pitching is going to be there, right? I mean, Elliott, Townsend, Rabe, that's as good a 3 as anybody's going to put out there this weekend.
From a stuff perspective, it's hard to beat that.
You've got to find timely hitting. You've got to start being able to find some runs here and there. And if they can do that, they'll be just fine.
This weekend in Starkville, the lefty, Tomas Valinkis, he's 6-1 with a 1.15 ERA. He only gave up 3 runs to that Georgia offense last week, and his ERA went up. A pretty significant jump to 1.15. What a bum he is. 66 strikeouts, just 11 walks. He'll be opposite the righty Landon Mack tonight. He's 3-2 on the season with a 3.5 ERA. Does have 58 strikeouts, 17 walks. Then you got Duke Stone, who's 5-0 on the season. Opposite Tegan Coons, right? That's how you say his last name? Who's 1-3 on the season with a 3.9 ERA, 47 Ks, just 8 walks, but just is having a hard time keeping runs off the board. And then Charlie Foster, opposite the lefty, Evan Blanco, who's 2-2 with a 3.8 ERA, 52 Ks, 18 walks. So for Tennessee, you know, there's some good stuff in that rotation, but not as overpowering and dominant as they have been in years past.
It's not what it used to be. You know, there's no question about that. And as I've said all this week, I think with Tennessee, some of the biggest issues are that are mental. Right? This is a Tennessee program that for the last 3 or 4 years has been the biggest bully in college baseball. Everybody has taken taken abuse from Tennessee over the last 3 or 4 years, and that's gone from them now. And I don't think they are responding to adversity well, and it really does sort of strike you as, how to put it, sometimes when you punch a bully in the mouth, they cower down really quickly if you just stand up to them. I think that's what's happened here with Tennessee is nobody's afraid of them anymore, and so they don't know how to handle that because these are still mostly the same players, right? And I feel like if Vitello was there, they'd be cruising right along. They'd be just fine. Yeah. I think that it was just such a huge departure for them. So we talked to Kendall Rogers, we talked to Mark Etheridge. Both of those guys said they, never mind winning the series, they think State has a great chance to sweep. I won't go that far to predict a sweep. It's just difficult to do that. But aside from the fact that State needs to win, it feels like State's just, even coming off of getting swept themselves, it just feels like State's in a much better position than what Tennessee is.
We got this on the text line. Almost can't listen to this know-it-all, yet Ole Miss's production in 22 was not there the first 3 quarters of the year. Borky's memory is horrid. I just wish Haydad was a Reb.
Well, two things. One, you don't have to read every text they send.
I wanted to read this one because here's why.
But also, I'd just like to point out that not in this lifetime.
Well, but whose memory is horrid here? Because Ole Miss's production was bad the first 3/4 of the season? Or did they climb up to number 1, have a bad month, get into the tournament, and then play like they did earlier in the season? Which one was it? Were they bad up until the very end, or did they climb up to number 1, have an off month? Yeah, I guess, what was it, 6 weeks maybe? But they climbed up to number 1, then played poorly, and then figured it out again, and then won the national championship. But my memory's the horrid one, though. I appreciate you being here, but if you're gonna do that kind of stuff,
again, I like to just
be correct.
You don't have to
come correct if you're going to criticize correctly. That's all I ask. Because that team was extremely good when the season began, and they played extremely good.
At one
they
point,
climbed up to number 1.
Yeah.
Then they slumped. Then they won the title.
Yeah.
This team at no point has hit the baseball at any point.
That team
like the best team in the country.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that team's problem was pitching until DeLucia and Hunter Elliott
figured it out.
They turned into Roger Clemens and Randy Johnson all of a sudden. It was just unhittable.
And Mike's exactly right. Kevin Graham got hurt in there too.
Mm-hmm.
He might be, looking back,
very underrated player.
One of those guys that there was so much good about that team that sometimes guys get lost. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When everything is good, a guy gets lost.
Like I mentioned, DeLucia and Hunter Elliott, the way they performed, Elko's heroics. But Gonzalez is on that team, right? Jacob Gonzalez?
Yes.
A guy like Graham. Graham is kind of like, if you go back to state, like the 2021 team, kind of like a Cam James. Just a guy that was just there, made some big plays, but he kind of gets lost in the shuffle sometime. But, yeah, he was a key player for that Ole Miss team.
601-879-4395, the C Spire text line. Really glad that you guys are with us. Somebody says Kevin Graham could access. He could. He did everything well. Power. I mean, his speed was good, too. Kind of underrated there. He was just a solid baseball player. And, yeah, he got hurt in there. Once they figured out the rotation, they got good quick again.
Yeah.
We'll keep talking about this series coming up. Big rivalry series, sold-out game tomorrow.
We'll talk about it with Keith Kessinger, who's on the call this weekend with some bum. I don't know who that other guy is on SEC Network Plus. We'll do that when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Come on, Super Talk Mississippi.
Check this out.
Are you ready? Yeah. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back in Sports Talk Mississippi. We go now to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. If you watch any of the Ole Miss games this weekend, you will hear him and see him sometimes on the call. Keith Kessinger joining us right now on the Farm Bureau guest line. And Keith, let's start with the rivalry component of a baseball series. We talk about rivalries, especially around football, all the time, and the intensity and things like that. How much can you speak to what that means on a baseball field, and how similar or different do you think it is than a football game?
Well, I mean, certainly you're playing series and you're playing a lot more games, and so I don't know if you can equate it exactly, but anytime Ole Miss and LSU play anything, it certainly seems to mean more than maybe another SEC series. And then I think just because the tradition certainly associated with LSU baseball, it makes that weekend especially important for anybody that LSU plays.
And then now, especially going into this series with Ole Miss, they had to tinker with the rotation some, in part because of injury, and then Will Libbert just wasn't giving them enough on Sundays. It seems like they have figured it out, and this trio of pitchers are pretty electric.
Yeah, I think that has certainly been one of the things, and I don't know that it was a surprise to the Ole Miss coaching staff at all that this team was going to pitch it really well. I mean, I certainly in visiting with the guys, even through the fall and early in the spring before the game started, I think they felt like it was a really good pitching staff. I mean, some really quality high-end arms, and then the depth was fantastic as well. And so the fact that they have thrown it well, I don't think is really any surprise at all. But you're right. I mean, Libbert was not, I think, giving them what they had hoped in that third spot out of the weekend. And then, Rabe's stuff it's pretty obvious when you watch. I mean, his stuff is just electric. I mean, the velocity and the off speed. He's just really good. And so plugging him in seems to have been a good fit. And then Libbert's done a really good job in shorter stints coming out of the bullpen, so maybe it was kind of a win-win for everybody.
Did you see that coming with Libbert? It kind of felt like moving him out of that starter role. I mean, that can go a lot of different ways for guys, right? Some can take offense to that and then never provide anything for the team. Others can lock in and do what he's done, which is when he comes out of the pen, he is giving them a whole heck of a lot. He still has an important role on this team.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you never really know. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, how a guy is going to react into whatever role that you give him. And, when a guy comes in, he wants to be a weekend starter. I mean, that's just part of being in, as part of a college staff is you want to be one of those 3 weekend guys. And so when a guy is that and then you take him out of that role, you never for sure how a guy will respond. But certainly, maybe the stuff matches up a little better on the back end of the bullpen, perhaps. He's really more of a two-pitch guy. Starter, you kind of like to have that 3 or 4 pitch mix, and he has been really, really good, and I'm sure Ole Miss hopes that will be the case the rest of the way with Libbert.
What are your thoughts on Owen Pano drawing the start tonight as a DH?
Well, I mean, clearly, that's a spot that with Ruder kind of struggling a little bit here lately that Ole Miss is going to try to play, I'm sure, some matchup situations with right and left. And I think Pano's given some quality at bats, and certainly it's a guy you pull for. I mean, came in with incredible expectations, and, it just hasn't worked out in the first year and a half the way anybody hoped it would work out for him. And but his attitude has always seemed to be fantastic. He's a guy that really pulls for his teammates, and he's one of those guys you can really pull hard for. Regardless of who you're pulling for as a team. I mean, he's the kind of guy that when things haven't worked out, he hadn't put his head down, he's worked, and Ole Miss would certainly, like to add another bat that's being productive right now, and hopefully for Ole Miss's sake, Pano will give him that.
And then in left field as well, do you think Golden has just locked that spot down regardless of matchups or anything, that just needs to be who plays left for this team?
Well, I had a hard enough time writing lineups out when I was coaching, so I try to stay out of the lineup writing business. But he certainly brings some things to the table out there. I mean, he's a very good athlete, really fast, puts pressure on defense when he can get on the bases. Obviously, just putting the ball in play. He's a guy that can put a little bit of pressure on you. And I think he's given them some good at bats. I'm still not sure that they're probably ready to make that call against left-handed pitching. I don't know that average people understand how difficult it is for left-handed hitters at this level to hit left-handed pitching. It's just really, it's a very, very few guys that are left-handed swinging as good against left-handed pitching as they do right. And especially as a freshman, I would not be surprised if they're still going to do some platooning right-left out there.
And all righties, at least in the rotation anyway, for LSU this weekend. When you've looked into the Tigers, we'll start with on the mound. What have you seen?
Well, you get Evans tonight, and had a really good freshman year last year. His numbers aren't quite as good this year. Probably a few too many walks if you're just trying to look at some things there. I think it's 20 walks in 40 innings. Just across the board, the numbers aren't as good this year for him as last year. But sometimes that happens when you become the Friday guy. It's just a little different attitude that you have to take on the mound, and sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you want. Plus, you're facing, in this league every Friday, you're facing lineups typically that can really swing it. But nothing in their pitching staff. I mean, when you look at their total numbers, I mean, this is not kind of the LSU team that you're used to seeing. Doesn't mean at the end of the year they won't be. They always seem to figure out how to play really well when it matters. But they've got some really uncharacteristic losses when you kind of look at where they're at, whether it's Northeastern or McNeese or Bethune-Cookman and a couple of games to Sacramento State. I mean, everybody has some of those that happen because baseball happens. It's just baseball being baseball. But they certainly have some non-conference losses that scratch your head a little bit over. And we'll see how they play this weekend. They certainly played well last weekend in Knoxville.
And you made reference to it. I mean, it is LSU. They are struggling, but they still have some guys that will grab a bat this weekend that can punish you.
Yeah. No, there's no question. There's talent. There's pro players there. I mean, there's some real high-end guys that will play well. And at some point, you just expect LSU to really put it together. And certainly Jay Johnson knows what he's doing coaching. And it won't surprise me at all if at the end of the year you look in this LSU team, and I think RPI right now is in the 70s, which is just shocking when you think about that at this point in the season for LSU. I would be surprised if they're not playing their best baseball at the end of the year.
At one point this season, Becerra was, the hottest hitter in the country, possibly. He was having a great year, still having a great year, but not as productive lately. How do they get him going?
Well, some of that's just baseball being baseball. He was likely not going to hit 450, and he was likely not going to hit 10 home runs every 20 games.
Keith, wasn't he at 500 at one point this season?
Yeah, he got off to a start that was probably, as much as you want it to be sustainable if you're Ole Miss and Becerra, it was likely not sustainable. And so baseball tends to average out at some point. So if you're hitting 450 for a long time, sometimes that means you're going to hit 200 for a while. And I think he's just maybe in one of those phases. Plus, the scouting's gotten so good now at this level. It used to be it's a different animal now, and so a hole was found, perhaps, some things that he wasn't able to adjust to, and hitting is always making adjustments at the plate, and he's going to have to figure out some things that teams are doing to him, and then it gets in your head a little bit. You start worrying about a pitch that you're not hitting, and then you miss the pitches that you should be hitting, and I think he's been in a little bit of that funk, but got a couple hits I think in the midweek game this week. So maybe he's on his way back out of that. Yeah,
had 2 hits in the 9 games leading up to the midweek, and then had a couple, as you mentioned, regardless of opponent. A guy like him, maybe just hitting the baseball, it just reignites him some. And,
well, look, Ole Miss needs their good players to be good players. And that's not a secret recipe for any team. But this Ole Miss team needs the guys that can run the ball out of the ballpark and get hits with men on base. They need them to do it because there's certainly some spots in this lineup that have struggled some. And, when you get guys like Udemark and Becerra and the way they were kind of carrying the team early in the season, probably wasn't realistic that was going to continue. But you certainly need your good players to be good players, and Ole Miss needs Becerra to be one of those good players.
Yeah, and then if LSU could leave a couple of fastballs over the belt against Udemark this weekend, that would also help, like Florida did in Game 3.
Yeah, baseball is still played by the guys on the field, and no matter how much you talk and scouting reports, and you still have to go out and you got to make pitches and execute. And the thing about Udemark is that, there's no question. I'm not saying anything that people haven't watched the games don't know. He's going to swing at some breaking balls out of the zone. That's going to happen. He's going to swing and miss, and he's going to strike out some. That's who he is as a player. He's also a guy that if you're in that opposing dugout is scaring you to death when he's at the plate because you hang one occasionally. You're going to have to show a fastball. You just have to. You can't just throw nonstop breaking balls to a guy. And when you make a mistake, he's a guy that can hurt you with that mistake. And so it's an interesting dynamic when you're facing a player like that because I know Ole Miss fans probably get frustrated with some of his at bats, and likewise the coaches in the other dugout are so happy when he's not in the box because he scares you to death.
This was excellent. We really appreciate your time on a Friday afternoon. It would have been very easy to say no. Your counterpart on the broadcast this weekend says no on Friday often. So,
well, I've rested up well because I'm going to have to carry Richard all weekend. So I have rested. I'm well rested to make it through 3 games with RC all weekend.
Excellent stuff. Have a great call this weekend, and we'll catch up with you again. This was great.
All right, guys. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
On the Farm Bureau guest line, that was Keith Kessinger. He will be on the call this weekend on TV for Ole Miss and LSU. We'll be back.
From the Venable
Broadcasting of the Disturbed continues.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Hey, Mom, said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. Good conversation there. Ole Miss has a real opportunity this weekend. I think they're going to get two. We don't do picks really in baseball, not the same way we do football.
Right.
If we did,
you'd pick them to win.
I think I would pick Ole Miss to take two this week, and they just pitch it so well, and I think the rotation's really coming to its own. And even this LSU lineup, which is potent, I think that they're just not going to surrender a whole lot of runs this weekend. And now that I've said that, they're going to get swept, and every score is going to be 15-14. But that is my going into the series prediction.
Nothing wrong with that. That would be the prediction that makes the most sense right now. That Ole Miss will win this series. Their LSU is just so up and down. You can't really get a hold of them. Ole Miss has been up and down too, but I feel like there's a little bit more consistency with them. Mm-hmm. You know, outside of the Mississippi State series, they haven't had a weekend where they just looked completely lost.
And they were still figuring out the rotation then as well.
Yeah, I mean, Townsend was his first start back and everything. You know, I can't help but think if Ole Miss had won the Friday game, maybe it might have been a little bit different. That was a real gut punch loss that they took there, and that affects you. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, but that said, that's why this series is so important for Ole Miss. Because if they don't win it, and then it's turned into this thing where it's every other weekend for the Rebels. Well, every other weekend doesn't have you hosting. You got to string a couple of series here and there together. Yeah. And if they can do that, they'll be just fine. But if they aren't going to do that, and they lose to this LSU team, which, by the way, these will not be good losses. You know,
they don't. You can't recover as well from those. Like the state series was not good,
right?
But it didn't destroy you RPI and metrically.
Yeah, LSU currently sitting at 76 in the RPI. So you lose home games to a team like that. That's going to ding you a little bit. That's going to put you down into the 20s in the RPI. You don't want to be there.
Things change, but you still have the RPI up. The Missouri State series right now
still huge,
and that will change. But right now helps more than the LSU series would right now. And I know that'll change, but right now
I mentioned that earlier this week with UAB. State played UAB on Tuesday. Their next three SEC series have RPIs below UAB. The next three are Tennessee, South Carolina, and LSU. And UAB is above all of those teams.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah, UAB is at 33. Tennessee is at 43. I just mentioned LSU at 76. And South Carolina is at 99.
And they lost in the midweek.
They did lose in the midweek.
Gross. So. Are you going to check out, probably not tune in live, but are you going to look into the splashdown tonight?
Was that for the Artemis mission?
Yeah, they're
what time is that supposed to be?
I think 8 o'clock. Maybe I'm wrong.
Neck deep in baseball. I might pull up a tab though. Sure.
The social media at least will be good. They are. Yeah.
I'll certainly see that. That's a highlight I'll see. I guess I need to maybe follow somebody more golfy because I'm not even seeing highlights of the Masters on social media right now. What are you doing? Why aren't you tweeting more highlights of the Masters for me to look at?
Because you'll get DMCA'd. They have to come from the Masters itself.
Well, you could retweet them, you know.
I guess I could, couldn't I?
It helped me out a little bit.
Patrick Reed and Rory are tied at 6 under, though. That pick is going to age well, possibly. Although, there's so much more golf to be played. It's crazy. But, yeah, I'll watch the splashdown. Apparently weather in the area, there can't be rain or a storm of any kind within, I think it was 35 miles of where they intend on. It's not landing, it's splashing down.
So what happens if there is a storm? They
have to delay it, I guess.
Take another lap around the earth? What is that? How does that work?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But they will be returning home tonight. And then you've got, Major League Baseball going on. You've got, if you care, the final week of the NBA going on. Which I don't know if any of you care. But
well, I cared until last Thursday when my season fell apart. Wait, I got nothing left. You know, they're going to the playoffs. I kind of hope they lose in the first round, and because I don't want Luka and Reeves trying to rush back for a second round series. I don't want that. You know, I want Luka to just take the time off. Let's get healthy. Let's worry about next year. it was going good. It was going really good. I felt good about where the Lakers were. I thought maybe they had a puncher's chance, and that was all ripped away when they played the Thunder, and Luka and Austin both got hurt. So
when we come back, so in the next hour, we will do the same thing that we just did with Keith Kessinger with Bart Gregory. That'll happen in the next hour. We've also got an interview about the 1878 platform everything with Zach Selman and Charlie Winfield. That'll be in the 5 o'clock hour. So when we come back, I'm going to do not an abbreviated, but a college football fix where I'm going to test Brian Haydad's memory. I've got a stat. I'm not going to tell him what it is because I want him to do it off the cuff.
Oh, you're going to find out.
This is going to be a fun one, I think.
All right, let's find out.
It's quarterback related. That's all I will say.
Better have gotten to work early on that one. We'll see.
And we're going to test Haydad's college football knowledge, specifically SEC quarterback knowledge.
Okay. All right.
After the news. Sports Talk Mississippi. Stick around.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Here's more. Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi back with you on a Friday afternoon. I'm Brian Haydad. He's Michael Borky. What's Up on Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Ag Up. Folks, the weekend is here. That means you're going to be out mowing the grass. Don't waste any time with anything other than a John Deere mower, and they've got them with great deals over at Ag Up right now. And if you've got a big yard, if you've got that Richard Cross size yard you got to deal with, a John Deere 3025E with a loader for just $365 per month. 0% financing for 84 months. That's a deal that cannot be beat. That deal's not going to hang around for long. So check out your local Ag Up today. 15 locations around the state. Or you can check them out online on agup.com. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi? It's the college football fix.
I forgot the sounder. I forgot
this guy.
I forgot we were doing the interview for a second.
I did everything.
I usually have it ready.
I did everything right.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
The college football fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford tough. The Mississippi Ford dealers know what you're looking for. You want a new truck. You want the best truck. You want a truck that's going to be the envy of the neighborhood. Make it simple for you. Let's go see your Mississippi Ford dealers today and pick up a Ford F-150. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I have been told that my knowledge is going to be tested here.
14 different quarterbacks in the history of the Southeastern Conference have thrown, not total yards, have thrown for 500 yards in a game. Okay. 14 quarterbacks. Can you name all 14?
KJ Costello.
KJ Costello's number one, 623 yards against LSU in 2020.
Bryce Young.
559 yards against Arkansas. Poor Arkansas in 2021.
Eric Zier.
Have you seen this? You're lying.
I know that Costello has the record. I know he broke Zier's record. Then I know Young was close to it the same year.
Zier, 544 yards, the Georgia quarterback, in 1993 against Southern Miss.
Danny Werfel.
Danny Werfel is not on this list.
Okay. There's got to be some Florida quarterbacks, though.
I will give you this hint. There is not.
There's not a Florida quarterback. Wow, all those Spurrier teams, not a Florida quarterback. That's crazy. Burrow's got to be on the list.
Joe Burrow is not on this list.
Insanity. 500 yards.
Only 14 all time, so it's a...
Rodgers never threw for 500 in a game.
No.
Neither Dak. Dak did.
Dak Prescott did. 508 yards, 2015 against, guess who?
Arkansas. I knew that one. That was a good Arkansas team.
But, man, Arkansas. They show up on these lists a lot lately.
Brandon Allen threw for a lot of yards in that game, too. I don't think he threw for 500.
He did not.
Oof. So I've got 4 out of 14. That's not a very good number. Aaron Murray?
There is only one Georgia quarterback on this list. You said him already.
Sorry. Gosh. Okay, this is just silly. Tim Couch?
Tim Couch is not on this list.
No Florida.
No Florida.
Couch isn't on there in the air raid.
I'll start giving you some hints.
There
are two from Tennessee.
Two from Tennessee are going to be Hendon Hooker?
No.
Peyton?
Peyton, 523 yards in 1997 against Kentucky.
I'll throw a wild card. Is the next one like a name you wouldn't expect?
It is a name you would not expect.
Tyler Bray.
530 yards in 2012 against Troy.
Okay. South Carolina, would they have a 500-yard guy?
South Carolina has a 500-yard guy.
Is it Rattler?
It is not Spencer Rattler. I don't know if you'll get this one. This name does not. His dad was a very famous high school coach in the state of South Carolina, if that helps you at all.
It doesn't help me at all. So, is it Tannehill?
It is Jake Bentley.
Oh, man. Yeah, I would never have gotten him. I remember him.
510 yards in 2018 against Clemson, actually, in 2018.
Trying to think my way around. Arkansas, would Mallett or Tyler Wilson be on the list?
Tyler Wilson, 510 yards in 2011 against Texas A&M.
Manziel never threw for 500.
Manziel did not. Are
we counting Texas and Oklahoma in this?
There is not a Texas or Oklahoma player on this list, but there is a Texas A&M quarterback on this list.
Kyle Allen?
Okay. I don't want to give you hints because it'll give it away.
Uh-huh.
He won the Heisman on this game in the month of September. And then
I know it is. Kenny Hill.
Kenny Hill.
Yeah.
Kenny Trill, 511 yards on the introductory day of the SEC network against South Carolina in 2014. So narrowing the list down a little bit.
Somebody saying I suck at this. I will go head-to-head anytime you want, buddy.
This list is insane.
Yeah.
Do you want more hits or you want to keep trying?
How many do I have left?
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left.
All right, so LSU, you said Burrow wasn't on there.
LSU does have one, though.
Daniels?
Jaden Daniels did not throw for 500 yards.
Hodson?
I'll give you the year, see if that helps. 2001.
Okay. 01. Rohan Davey?
Rohan Davey, 528 yards against Alabama in 2001.
All right. Auburn. Does Auburn have anybody?
Auburn does not have one.
Okay. You said I've only got one Georgia. Alabama must have another one.
Alabama does not. There's only 3 left now.
Vandy Cutler?
Vanderbilt does not have one.
Okay.
There's 2 schools with 3 players left.
So for Ole Miss, Eli never did it. I don't think Dart did. Dart did. Dart did do it. Dart.
2024 Arkansas. Jackson Dart threw for 515 yards.
I don't think Corral ever did.
He did. 2020, 513 yards against South Carolina.
South Carolina. Oh, that's the thing going up in the air.
South Carolina just did not. They
could not stop the pass, but Ole Miss couldn't stop the run. That was a great football game. It was a lot of fun.
One more
from Ole Miss.
No, one more on the list.
Give me the school.
Missouri. No, there's 2 more. There's 2 more. Sorry, 2 more.
Missouri's got to be Drew Lock.
Drew Lock, 521 yards against Missouri State in 2017.
Shouldn't count.
And there is one more. You've named every school but this one to this point.
I named every school but this one?
But this one.
Florida, Carolina, Kentucky. I named Kentucky. I said Tim Couch.
Gosh, yes.
It's not...
Any hint I give you gives it away.
It's got to be Jared Lorenzen.
It's Jared Lorenzen, the hefty lefty, 2,000 against Georgia, 528 yards for the big fella.
I did all right. That wasn't my best.
That is a really hard list. I mean, hey, Dad, you've got Tyler Bray and Drew Lock and Kenny Hill and Jake Bentley on that list.
Bentley is the one that you would never, ever think it was him. Like, Kenny Hill, if you remember that one game, sure. Drew Lock is the SEC's 3rd all-time leading passer, I think. He's between Murray and Will Rogers.
So he says Lamar Jackson.
Well, I don't know.
Louisville one day may be in the same conference as your favorite SEC team, but not today.
The names that I'm surprised the most aren't on there are Burrow. I'm surprised Tim Couch is not on there. I'm surprised there's no Florida quarterback. That's crazy to me. Shane Matthews, Werfel, Rex Grossman, none of those guys ever threw for 500 in a game.
Hey, Dad, 4 of the 14 played at State or Ole Miss.
Yeah, including it's going to take some doing to get KJ Costello out of first place. It's got to be somebody who's really committed to the pass that day. Or are you playing just an awful secondary? You decide
who does LSU play in week 2? Is it Louisiana Tech?
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin might try to throw for 614 yards against Louisiana Tech.
Well, you say that, I mean, you and I both know that Kiffin is really a run-first coach. He likes the deep pass, but his offense is very much run-base.
That's a tough list.
That was very tough. Yeah.
A very, very tough list.
Said Dave Marler. Like you're really struggling there. He's like the 4th all-time at State. He threw for over 400 at State in a game. State has had, if I'm correct,
that Costello record. Now that they've changed the clock rules too,
it's really tough. Yeah, I mean, they could not stop him that day. And look, Costello deserves all the credit. Leach deserves all the credit. Bo Pelini gets some credit. All right, he decided he wanted to run man coverage against a team that didn't want to do anything but run crossing routes. All right, they just had guys running free all day. I've never seen anything like it. That was a fun day.
That was a fun day. And then you need a bandwagon, hop on.
That was,
great
there was
video.
a moment in time there where Mississippi State was about to
they were the darling of the college football world. Mike Leach beat LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sports Talk Mississippi. Good stuff. Bart Gregory joins us when we come back.
Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Covington County Hospital in Collins, where your health matters.
Here comes more Sports Talk Mississippi.
You ready, guys?
On Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We go back to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. Bart Gregory joins me. He'll be on the call with Charlie Winfield later tonight on the SEC Network Plus for Mississippi State, Tennessee. He's got all 3 games this weekend. And Bart, Mississippi State baseball this season has been a pretty consistent ride outside of last week. Was that just a bump in the road for you, or do you have some deeper concerns about where this team is headed?
No, I think last weekend was just kind of indicative of you had something that you wish you could have corrected in each of those games. It just popped up on a weekend. Well, I just think it was just a bump in the road, to be honest with you. And first of all, Brian, it is a great pleasure to join you on this Friday afternoon.
I'm glad to be with you as well, man. I was thinking, we've had Jay Powell on a number of times, but I was like, let's change it up. Let's get Bart on here, and he knows what he's talking about. He's the host of what is easily the second best Mississippi State podcast out there.
Well, but here's the thing. Jay knows what he's talking about. I just mask it well,
Absolutely. This team, to me, what's been the most consistent thing about this team this year has been at the plate. They've hit the ball very well, but they have had some ups and downs. Ace Reese has just been in a little bit of a slump. He's been in a slump really since SEC play has begun. But these are players we've seen come out of these slumps. We've seen them hit a lot. I think the offense is going to be locked in this weekend. Do you think we see some high-scoring games?
Well, I think you could, but you also look at the stats and you start thinking about this Tennessee team, and this is a completely different Tennessee team that we've seen, in years past. I mean, last weekend against LSU, they did not have a single double-digit hit game. This team batting 227 in league play. And, I mean, you think about a guy like Henry Ford, who is a great third baseman or a great player playing third base, and a guy that, you know, that played for Brian O'Connor last year at Virginia, was a highly sought-after guy. I mean, he's batting $1.95 in league play. And so Ace Reese kind of going through the same thing right now, just trying to put it together. I think all it's going to take is a couple good swings, and you can do that. That was one of the things about this team last week for Mississippi State, very similar to Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean,
you look, six of the last 7 games, you've only got single digits with hits, and the only time with double digits was last Thursday night in Game 1 against Georgia. So it's been it's almost like everybody went cold all at one time on a weekend. I thought Georgia pitched it well last weekend, pitched it well enough in a starting pitching role that had not been that great. They flipped a lot of curveballs. They had a lot of spin early in counts. And Brian, you look back at last weekend, I mean, it's one thing to square balls up and hit line drives and, you know, have a ton of line outs and say, man, that was just baseball. We didn't hit many balls hard last weekend.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, honestly, though, if we look at it from this perspective, if Ace Reese hits a ball 2 more feet, it's a completely different story that we're telling about Mississippi State, about Ace Reese, and about a whole bunch of things. The pitching last weekend, outside of Charlie Foster and maybe the one inning from Brendan Sweeney, was good last weekend. And Valinkas has been good all year long. And Duke Stone, I think, is one of the more underrated starters in this conference. Has State's pitching surprised you this year? Because I thought coming into the season that was going to be the question mark.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and that's been a little bit of a bump in the road, maybe at Arkansas, you know, early in the year. I thought last weekend the pitching was really good. I thought Valinkas, and Brian, you may disagree with this, I thought over the past few weekends, I mean, he had a great outing against Vanderbilt. He pitched okay against Ole Miss and was able to pitch out of some difficulty. And, I mean, he could have given up 5 or 6 runs against Ole Miss. I mean, if they were just 1 or 2 base hits away from having some really good success off of him. I thought his best stuff was last weekend. I mean, I thought Valinkas was really good against Georgia, and it kind of goes back to that game, too. It wouldn't have mattered if you had Greg Maddox out on the mound. Just your inadequacies at the plate is what cost you in Game 2.
Do you feel like Jack Bauer found something last weekend and could be a guy that Mississippi State could start to see more of in the coming weeks?
Oh, I'll tell you what. I mean, that may have been the wake-up moment for Jack because it wasn't with a fastball. What everybody talked about when he got here was, man, this guy throws 103 miles an hour left-handed. Big, tall guy, got it, you know. It's like Butch used to say, he's got the rifle, now we got to find the scope, and then we got to figure out where he's throwing it. But last week it was almost like he became a pitcher because he was using a slider, and that slider was a devastating pitch. And, man, when you pair an 88-mile-an-hour slider with a 90-mile-an-hour changeup and a 97, 98-mile-an-hour fastball, you know, that makes that fastball look even tougher. But I thought it was a slider last week that made him really, really good.
Yeah, he's one of those.
Yeah, I mean, you could see him. I think you could see him get in some roles where it may be a leverage situation on a weekend.
He's one of those guys, Bart, that he changes speeds by throwing harder.
That's right. That's right.
So,
that's right.
This Tennessee team, what I've been talking about here and on the podcast is Tennessee for the last 3-4 years, maybe 5 years, has been the bully in the SEC. They've pushed everybody around. They've taunted you. When they hit a home run, it's a production out there in their dugout. And now that teams are punching back on them, I just feel like this Tennessee team is a little mentally fragile. They don't have the same swagger that they had, and obviously with Vitello going off to the majors, that's a big piece of that. But when you've looked at this Tennessee and you've thought about them, they just don't seem like they're the same tough as nails guys they've been the past few years to me.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, a lot of times when you have that swagger and you keep that swagger, and that's what you want to be known by. You know, it's easy to do when you're winning. You know, it's easy to do when you've got a Christian Moore, Jordan up there hitting home runs massive, and so I mean, just it's easy to do when you're winning, and then when all of a sudden you start figuring out ways to lose, and it was almost like that last week. I mean, they led majority of just about all the innings against LSU. Kind of fell apart in the first game. Gave up the grand slam in the 8th inning, and then gave up a lot of runs late when they had a lead on something. They could have swept last weekend. Mm-hmm. But going back to your point, it's almost like other teams are hitting them in the mouth, and like that bully on the playground. You know, when that bully gets hit, it's kind of like Mike Tyson, man. When Buster Douglas popped him that first time, he was different. I mean. Yeah. He was different after that, and I think that's kind of where they are, and I think that's one of the reasons this weekend is really big for Tennessee because in today's world, as you know, man, if these guys, a lot of these guys came in here for 1 year, and if it doesn't go to plan, does this mushroom on them in a hurry? And it could. But I also think, hey, this is a big weekend for State too, man. I mean, you can't, over the next couple of weeks, you got South Carolina next week, and you got LSU coming here for Super Bulldog weekend. But 3 of your last 5 series are on the road, and so the next couple of weeks, you better make up some ground the next couple of weeks.
Bart, what makes Bryce Chance just so successful? You look at him, you look at the physical tools, and you would think this is not a guy who could thrive in this day and age of college baseball. But here he is hitting over 400, and he's been such a key cog for Mississippi State all year.
Well, I think a lot of it is Bryce, and Brian, you've had a chance to talk to him a good bit. Bryce didn't get worked up about a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? And you start talking about the factor of slowing the game down, and I think it just shows you that if you slow the game down mentally and don't get your heart rate up, and you're tough as nails, and you've got, first of all, he's a skilled player and a lot more skilled player than he's given credit for. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, man, I think he's playing with a heart rate of about 60 out there right now, and he just doesn't get jazzed up about a whole lot. It's kind of fun to see, man. And I've said this several times. And this is not a knock at Bryce at all, and I hope he takes it as a compliment it's intended. When you saw him his freshman year, you're like, what's this guy doing at this level? Mm-hmm. But as he got more at bats under him, as he got more season under him, you're like, man, I couldn't imagine this team without him.
He's been like I said, the key cog may be underrating the importance he's been for Mississippi State. This year. Bart Gregory, Mississippi State baseball. He'll be on the call tonight, SEC Network Plus, along with Charlie Winfield. We'll find out, Bart, who's going to get the big piece of chicken tonight.
Yeah, I know. I got to the ballpark. The wind's not blowing out. It's kind of a warm night. You don't know how it's going to be flowing out to the outfield, and so I don't know who's going to get the big piece of chicken tonight. Dustin Skelton has got the biggest piece of chicken that we've ever had.
That's the one. I remember that one. So yeah. That was the good one. I think. Who was it just a couple weeks ago that hit one, and we were just like, I forget who it was. Was it Woodson that hit one? I was just like, God, there it is, big piece of chicken. That is a Bart Gregory-ism of the highest order.
Yeah, he got a big piece of chicken, and Parker got a Cadillac. So anyway.
There you go. That was the one I meant to say something about, the Afro Man reference. Fantastic work on your part. I don't know if I've complimented you on that yet. Good job.
Well, my mom was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What does that mean? I was like, I'm not telling you what it means.
Don't tell her. Nice. Bart, I'll see you at the ballpark tonight, man. Thanks for joining us.
All right, man. See you later.
Bart Gregory joins us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Farm Bureau. We did that to him one time. We were like, hey, somebody gets a home run, say that he gets the big piece of chicken. And he put it on the broadcast one time, and he's come back to it several times. So that's a good one.
There's something else that he said on the broadcast. I wonder if they're going to go back to
the Afro Man reference.
No, after a hanging curveball was thrown.
Oh, that wasn't him. That was Charlie.
That was
Charlie that said that. Charlie Winfield out of context. That was an unbelievable. That was when we were in the press box, and it starts popping up on Twitter like, Charlie said what? Yep. And so we found the clip. We were like, ah! Yeah, I'm not going to say it on air either. If you know what it is, if you know kind of situation. All right, more baseball when we come back at Sports Talk Mississippi.
See the face of Christ enter paradise.
What do they want? Exciting news.
Brace yourself.
More Sports Talk Mississippi now.
It's Sports Talk Mississippi. It's a Friday. It's Michael Borky. It's Brian Haydad. It's you on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. It's Genteel Apparel being our official apparel provider, although Borky is wearing something from the Masters there today. What is
it's Gentile underneath.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying. Got my Gentile polo on. This is my. This is the one shirt I can.
I got Gentile pants on too. You want to see them here?
No, we're good.
I can show you.
This is the one day of the week when I wear this shirt. I can color code with my my shoes. I have a pair of green Adidas on.
Nice.
So I look like like one of the kids today. GentileApparel.com is the place to go. Shirts, shorts, outerwear, the collegiate collection. It's all right there for you at GentileApparel.com. If you're a baseball fan, you want to get a brand new M over S polo or a brand new the M polo for Ole Miss or a Golden Eagle polo for if you're a Southern Miss fan, they've got them all down there at GentileApparel.com.
The commercial inventory for the Masters is traditionally always very low. They keep the sponsors very limited to tech firms and like Mercedes-Benz and Rolex, basically.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think 5 Hour Energy or Kalshi is getting in on the Masters.
They are not. However, this is still an awesome thing. From 4:30 to 5:30 in the broadcast window just now.
Yeah.
4 minutes and 30 seconds of commercials.
In an hour of broadcasting.
In an hour of broadcasting. They went a 30-minute block without a single commercial.
Again, we talked about it the other day about how this is the most exclusive sporting event in that you can't just buy tickets to it. There's a whole process. But once it is happening, they take care of the people who are there, and they take care of the viewer at home better than just about anybody. It's really something.
And every commercial break is only 3 30-second commercials, 90 seconds. When they go to break, it's 90 seconds, and then that's it. Back to the action.
That's all you can ask for.
It's almost like you could do that with every sport.
Well, you could.
It's almost like you could, and there's creative ways to make money.
Imagine if the SEC decided, okay, look, we're going to change something up. We're going to charge a lot more for our ads, but we're going to be a lot more selective. We don't even have to be more selective with them. I don't care what the ads are. But we're only going to do, you could do 2 minutes, right? Because there are going to be some times where in a football game you need 2 minutes, right? This isn't golf where there's 50 golfers on the course and there's always a shot happening that you could show. They could do it.
They could.
Advertisers would get involved.
You could do, hey, the second quarter is presented by.
Yeah, you just put it on the scoreboard. You just that's what soccer does.
Yep. They make billions of dollars. They have one commercial break.
Yeah.
That's it. It's halftime. And they figure it out. Watching this, though, I mean, you see all the drone shots and stuff like that. Really cool technology. The shot tracer, which has been around for a very long time, has dramatically enhanced viewing golf on television. Got me thinking. What is the single best sports broadcasting innovation of all time? I think the first down marker in football is the greatest.
Well, does instant replay count?
I think that counts. Yeah, so probably instant replay.
Because how many years did we go just watching football games and they would barely replay anything? The real answer might be score bugs. Like there were times when I was a kid, you were watching the game, and if you just turned on the game and you weren't keeping up, you might not have known what the score was. You might not have known how much time was left in the game. Take that for granted now. So that's definitely one. I'm old enough to have this discussion, I guess.
Instant replay. See, I don't remember a time without instant replay. I remember a time where we didn't have any replay reviews.
Yeah, well, they got away from it for a while. They had it, and they took it away, and they brought it back. Instant replay, score bugs.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time without score bugs.
Yeah.
What was that like? Gosh.
You had to watch the game. You had to pay attention.
And write the score down, though.
Yeah.
Somebody says in-car cameras for race cars, and there's no debate. That's a really good one, though.
That's a good one. Some of it, is we can thank Vince McMahon for, like Skycam.
That was a wrestling thing first?
Well, no, he brought it to the XFL.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he invented that.
Skycam is
nobody
awesome.
did Skycam before the XFL did. And so that's a great one. Everybody loves it. I was going to mention ABS. For something that's only a month old, it has completely revolutionized the game. It is, and for the better, for the absolute better. And I saw somebody make a point about this on a message board. They're like, you do that. It's not just about like showing up the umpires. He's calling a strike that's low. It's obviously low, right? You challenge it. He sees that it's low and it's a ball. You've changed the zone for the whole game.
Yeah, he's not calling it low anymore.
He can't call it anymore. He's like, I can't call that. They're going to get challenged.
And then ultimately the players are the only ones that decide the outcome of the game at that point.
Correct.
There's been this discourse about a website, about they're overturning calls that like are a strike or a ball by 0.1 of an inch. And should we really have it this close? Yes, the line is the line.
They
you
do
have
the same
to draw
thing
the
in
line
soccer
somewhere.
with VAR. Like, you can be a fingertip offside, and they call it. My fingertip's not a good example because it has to be a part of your body that you can score
like
with.
your heel.
But yeah, your toe is this much offside, and they're calling that back. It really is that the rule is the rule.
Mm-hmm. You have to.
For years we've heard like you can't call that there. Well, you can. That's the rule.
I hate that talking point. You can't call that there.
I know Ole Miss fans hate it because that's a big part of the talking point of that last play of the Fiesta Bowl. Was people are going to say, well, there's two guys. It's the last play of the game. They're fighting for the ball. You can't call that there. But if it's really interference.
A penalty is, and I wasn't thinking about that when I said
that. A penalty is if you're telling me that on the first play of the game that would have happened, you throw a flag. You have to throw it on the last play of the game.
And you get that a lot in basketball, and it drives me nuts in basketball.
The worst about it, yeah.
Oh well, Steph is not. You're not going to get that call on Steph. Why not?
Yeah, why is he special? But we know that it's true. That LeBron, Steph Curry, Durant, those guys, Luka,
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
SGA is a great example right now. They have a different whistle. There's no doubt about that.
Robert says, I think the re-examination of VAR was good. They made it to be the body and not some random elbow. Talk about making sure you get the call right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The first down marker, because I remember...
there was a time where you were guessing, and like now you at least have an idea of where they got to get to.
And they are rarely... That line is rarely off
good.
now.
It's pretty close.
To be...
I'll tell you
now, remember, this is not the actual...
This is not anything that helps the sport. It's just cool, is pylon cam.
Pylon cam is sweet.
Everybody loves pylon cam. It has never missed. When they go to pylon cam, you are getting an awesome shot.
Especially when they hit the pylon and the camera feed cuts off. That's my favorite part for some reason. That's a great one. I wish the referee cams in football were better. They're just they're not stable enough, and it's not their fault. It's just
they did helmet cam in the XFL, and it was really cool, like for the players. And that was some cool stuff. You'd see the linebacker like reading the play, or you see the quarterback as he's making his progressions and all that. It was cool. I guess they just don't want to do that for whatever reason, but I thought it was cool.
You've got what was it, the Google Lens,
the
glasses thing?
The Hawkeye thing is an awesome replay system. They've started doing that in baseball now. Like State has a Hawkeye thing for the calls.
Really?
Like the camera of like you can get they have really good high def. Like somebody steals a base and they get called out, you can see for sure if
that's cool. Yeah. I can't believe tennis of all sports was ahead of everybody else in terms of replay technology and tracking the ball and whether it was in or whether it was out, stuff like that. I mean, the U.S. Open or Wimbledon is not worth $12 billion a year. The NFL is. And the NFL's got a group of middle-aged men determining whether or not we got a first down as opposed to what tennis uses in the whatever Open in Miami. It's just crazy how football has lagged behind while it has the most resources.
Let's say it has the most revenue, the most resources, billions of dollars, and they can't get things. They're just slow to change things.
Somebody says, speaking of ABS, watched some Barstool shows. They had Mangum and Connor Griffin on. They talked about ABS. Mangum mentioned something I haven't thought of. The system will decrease arguing balls and strikes because if a player argues the call, then the ump can just say, challenge it then. Mangum said that happened to him in the minors when they first rolled the system out. The ump straight up told him to challenge it. Hey,
that makes a lot of sense, though. Yeah, it's like, don't argue with me. Challenge it if you're so smart.
Tap your head, buddy.
Yeah, and we'll find out. Imagine that Jake Mangum was right about something.
Somebody says shot tracer in golf is a game changer. You can actually see where the ball's going. I mean, it is so much more enjoyable to watch golf on TV because you know where the ball is going. I mean, before Shot Tracer, they hit a shot, and then you would have to hope the cameraman down the fairway would find where the ball ended up. That was it. Good stuff. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
From the Venable Glass Sports Talk Mississippi. Now.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Always glad that you guys are with us, especially on this Friday. Ashley says, I wish they would do shot tracer on home run replays in college and MLB. Now, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
I mean, they have the TrackMan, but you don't get to see the... You don't see it. That would be cool.
I think I would like that. That would add to the baseball broadcast. Because not every home run's created equal, right? There's launch points and angles and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm with you. Somebody says, this is kind of hard to say across the text, but with the ABS system, the plate is a three-dimensional object in reference to the strike zone, meaning there is a front and a back to the plate. So if a curveball crosses the plate at the very back of the plate or the very front of the plate, is that not a strike? The ABS system is a square in space rather than a three-dimensional object. Well, it is where the ball is located when it crosses the front of the plate.
Simple as that.
Yeah, so even though it's a three-dimensional object, the base itself, what determines a strike is where the ball is when it crosses the plate.
Right. Correct.
And so they can use a two-dimensional. I guess there's debate on whether or not the zone, does it change well enough based on batter height and stuff like that? But also, I don't really care, quite frankly. It's a really good start and a really good thing. And I kind of think some of the conversation around it is getting too complicated. Don't overcomplicate things. This is the strike zone.
Yeah.
Here it is. If you don't like it.
I've always wondered if a team could sign a bunch of 7-footers. Like, the strike zone's up there. Because pitchers would not be used to doing that. So what are they going to do? Lob it up there?
Or find every decent 5'2" player you can think of.
Well, I mean, you could go the Eddie Goodell route, go back what the St. Louis Browns did back in the 30s, and get a little person and just be like, good luck.
Yeah, throw me strikes, buddy.
The problem is on the defensive side of the ball, obviously.
You got a DH.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Sports Talk Mississippi. Most of the time, anyway. Most of the time. The NCAA is going to try to change its eligibility rule. 5 years to play 5, no anything. No red shirts, no waivers, nothing. Just 5 to play 5. And you might be thinking, well, that's going to go to court and lose. Possibly not. There's a chance that they can do that and it'll stick, at least for a while.
Right.
Now, they're really like cleaning the counter of your bathroom sink when it's leaking. You're doing something, but not the thing. And so fixing the eligibility rule does not change the NCAA's problems.
Right.
But at least that makes sense. Where they've gotten into trouble is the waiver process. That's what really screwed them up.
Right.
Is granting waivers for arbitrary reasons based on whether or not the guy's attorney was good enough.
It was based on vibes more than anything
Pretty
else.
much. Yeah. And so when you get into that, those guys take it to court, and you've seen dozens of examples, especially around waivers, where they get sued and lose, where it's just straight up eligibility. Not red shirt, nothing like that. If a player is just saying, I want another year just because, they're losing. The players are, not the NCAA. Mm-hmm. So that might be an indication that maybe that part of their rules can hold up because they have held up in court. So I don't know. I think it's fine. If you're going to restrict number of years that you're allowed to play but don't make an injury exception, maybe that's an issue for a judge. I don't know. But that is what the NCAA is trying to do. I like it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
That makes the most sense. It's just to do the straight 5 for 5 and call it a day, and that's it. And you just basically have to set it up in a way that says if you're willing to play sports at the college level, then you have to be willing to accept these plans. I don't know if they can do that or not. We'll find out, but there's got to be a way.
And that just might be it. We shall see. My other pick, by the way, my other Masters pick, Cam Young, he was 4 over through his first 7.
No good.
Now he's 7 under, playing 15 right now.
There we go. He's figuring it out.
7 under since then, so he's 3 under for the tournament. And he just went long on 15. That ball better stop. Stop. And it will. He got really lucky there. But so far, I'm kind of a ball knower. We'll
You've
see.
been doing good. You've been doing good.
We'll see if that continues. Got a very, I'll call it just simply an important conversation upcoming. We have gotten, I know you have gotten, a ton of questions about this new state NIL thing.
Right.
What is it? What do you do with your money? What is it going towards? All those questions. They will be answered after the news when we come back. We'll tell you a little bit more about it. A good conversation Haydad had with the 2 biggest stakeholders in this. And we'll do that on the Farm Bureau guest line when we come back.
It's time to get real. Real sports talk for Mississippi.
It's time for you to get real with it.
Sports Talk Mississippi continues on SuperTalk Mississippi.
All right, Sports Talk Mississippi. Before we get into this interview, Mississippi State does have the lineup out, and there are some changes to it. Not in terms of personnel, but they have really reshaped the batting order. So let's go through it. Aiden Teal is back in the lineup for Mississippi State. He's leading off. He's playing center field. Bryce Chance is hitting second now, playing left field. Ace Reese batting third, playing third base. Noah Sullivan's back in the lineup after his 1-game suspension. He'll DH. Jacob Parker bats fifth, playing right field. Garrick Fry, the second baseman, bats sixth. Ryder Woodson is the shortstop. He'll bat seventh. Reed Stallman batting eighth for the Bulldogs tonight. He's at first base. And Kevin Milewski at the bottom of the lineup. He'll be behind the plate. And, of course, Tomas Valinkis on the mound. So some switching around there for the Bulldogs as far as the lineup goes. All right. Earlier this week, I talked to, since last week, basically, this new media platform, call it what you will, State 1878. I've been inundated with questions about it, so I decided to go to the source. I talked earlier this week to Zach Selman, Mississippi State Director of Athletics, and to Charlie Winfield, Managing Director of State 1878. We'll go down to the Farm Bureau guest line, check out favorites.com, and go with the home team. All right. We've been talking about it for about the past week now, about State 1878. I said that I gave you my elevator pitch for it. I'm going to get the real pitch now. Zach Selman, Director of Athletics at Mississippi State University. Charlie Winfield, Managing Director of State 1878. Really pleased you guys have been able to join me. And Zach, we'll start with you. Just tell me how the idea of State 1878 kind of came together and why you thought it was a good idea for Mississippi State.
Well, thanks, Brian, for having us on. As we've continually evaluated what's going on in the college sports landscape, and you've heard the phrases and so many people, it's dynamic, it's a turbulent time, a lot of changes coming at it. So we've constantly looked at ways that we can reposition our department to make sure that we're meeting the needs of today's era of college sports and trying to forecast where we're going to go in the future. So it became evident for us that we needed a vehicle to continue to build the branding of Mississippi State, continue to build opportunities for student athletes. And I think most importantly, we've got elite fans. And so we wanted to make sure that there was a vehicle that fans could have more access to events, to stories, to getting to know our players, to our coaches like never before. And I think as we continually ask our stakeholders to step up, meet the moment, and do more for us, and that is critically important for us to have an opportunity to be successful, we also want to make sure that we're providing opportunities for our fans. I think, and lastly, as we're recruiting and bringing in student athletes now, they've got elite stories to tell, and they've got missions and brands that they're trying to continue to build on their own. So this is another vehicle for us to, again, meet the moment of today's era of college sports, and I cannot be more excited about it.
Charlie, for years you've been a successful attorney here in the city of Starkville, but you've turned this State Day 1878 into your full-time job. We all know you were working with the Bulldog Initiative. You got that off of the ground, and Mississippi State, as I've said many times, owes a great debt to you for the work you've done there. What about this moment, as Zach was saying, made it the point for you that you say, this is what I'm going to do going forward?
It's several things. The first thing is it's a belief in the administration here and what they've been doing. I was talking with Zach the other day. If you reflect on the last 3 years, and during the time that he's been here as athletic director, we've had record fundraising. We've improved the experience in venues. The changes to football this past year were unbelievable. We've doubled down on our commitment to baseball. We've continued to do things to elevate the experience in Humphrey Coliseum. And so part of it is just the belief I have in where this department is and where it's going, and the belief I have in the coaching staffs that we have. But beyond that, I also believe that it's a pivotal time. We're not at a spot right now where half measures can work. We're not at a spot where part-time gets it done. And in my life, outside of my God and my family, nothing has meant more to me than Mississippi State University. And I just decided that it was time for me to go all in and to be a part of the team that Zach's put together, to be a part of helping support this. Look, it means the absolute world to me, and I think we're at a pivotal time in college sports. The other thing that I love about the opportunity and what is being done with State 1878, it's adaptable. A lot of people keep saying things like, hey, we're getting to the beginning of the end of change. And I don't think we're even at the end of the beginning. There is so much change that is going to come as we go forward. But what I love about what we're doing now is it's adaptable. And it also provides a way to help our student athletes as they go forward in life. It helps them build platforms. It helps our fans get to know them. I'm excited about everything going on at Mississippi State right now. And, man, it was just time to jump all in.
So talk us through exactly what State 1878 does for athletes, Charlie. What is the process for when they come to you? What does this platform do for them?
Well, I'd say kind of the first thing we do is we go to them, and we go to them in a lot of ways. If you look over the past couple of weeks for baseball games, we've had Diamond Dog Alley, where a number of Mississippi State vendors have been able to set up and provide great product and content to our fans. Well, one of the things about it is we know as we want to help those vendors, what do we know? Our athletes have a market appeal. They have a market value. And if you could if you could see Jordan Gilbert selling shirts, man, you'd hire him right now to do something for you. He is next level at interacting. But you see a Fluff Bothwell and a Kelly Jones interacting with kids. And so for us, what we do is we go to them and we try to identify opportunities where they can help, where we can, help work together to tell their stories. And so when we do that, we're able to engage with them in NIL deals. We're able to help support them as they go forward. And in turn, they support us and they help our investors. They help everything about what we're trying to do for Mississippi State.
And then, Zach, 1878 is not officially run by the university. It is not associated with the university in any official capacity. But there obviously is going to be a relationship between the university and this platform. What is that relationship?
Yeah, it's clearly an outside independent organization. And that's one of the things that I loved about it, especially as a membership platform. One of the things that that we heard a lot of from fans is, wanting to get to know student athletes more. And I empathize for so many people because traditionally in college sports, you got to know a student athlete from their time as a freshman to time as a senior. But now we recognize that for things outside of our control, that's not always the case. So I think the platform gives people opportunity to get to know people, our student athletes, faster in a more meaningful way. So yes, it's an independent membership-based organization, but it's part of our, it's a valuable part of everything that we're trying to do. We understand that the costs coming at us have never been greater. Traditional costs such as our operating budgets for team travel, for food, all those things. But we now have the cost for talent management, and so many, especially at this level in this league, and we're blessed to be in the SEC from the competitive standpoint. But you have to have competitive opportunities as far as NIL offerings. And we've always believed that if Mississippi State comes together and people support us and people get to know our student athletes and our people, then great things can happen. So, yeah, outside organization, but it's critically important that I think all of our fans know we need folks to sign up for memberships, to go on, get to know our student athletes, take advantage of the experiences, and Charlie just described some of those. There's so much economic value, not only for so many times you look at it just what the student athlete is given. One of the things that I really like about State 1878, it gives so much value back to the stakeholders that are consuming the product.
One question that I've gotten a lot, Zach, from fans is this. You have the State Excellence Fund. We've had the Bulldog Initiative in the past. Now we have State 1878. If I'm a Mississippi State fan and I'm going to budget some money that I want to donate to State's NIL, how should I budget that? Where should I put my money?
Yeah, the easy answer for me, Brian, is say support all of it. But clearly this isn't a collective, and one of the things we want is pathways. We understand some people live in Mississippi, some Bulldog fans live in California, some Bulldog fans live internationally, and so maybe giving for a season ticket isn't for you. But we've had so much feedback of, I want to stay in the loop and I want to have a membership platform where I can just be engaged. So I'd say that we have avenues for everybody. The reality is we're going to need everybody to stretch and go. If we want to continue to be competitive, this is just a reality of where we're at in college sports. And it's not like we're not doing anything on the national level, trying to get some of the rules changed, but that takes time. So for right now, I would say we need people to continue to stretch and grow. And if you can budget, we on the State 1878 side, you can go online to state1878.com and see some of the membership levels. My youngest daughter was one of the first ones, and some of her friends were over at our house, and they said, "Hey, I'll eliminate eating out one day a month, and that's going to pay for my membership for that," because they want to stay plugged in and connected.
We'll have to pause it there. We'll be right back. Sports Talk Mississippi, Pearl River Resort Studio.
And the Venom. Your number one for Sports Talk.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Come on, don't be shy.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Bingo, man, bingo.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Let's get back into this interview. Back to the Farm Bureau guest line. My interview with Director of Athletics at Mississippi State, Zach Selman, and the Managing Director of State 1878, Charlie Winfield.
We're going to need individuals. We're going to need corporations. We're going to need businesses. We're going to need our communities to really get behind everything that we're doing to make this all work. And I know that once we come together and support at a high level, then everything that we want to do aspirationally will get there. But we've got to continue to increase the investment levels, and that's all driven by the resources that we can drive.
Charlie, what's the initial feedback been? You're about a week into this now. What are fans telling you about this platform?
I think they've been really pleasantly surprised. You know, a lot of times when you see things like this come out now, people don't really expect there to be substance. But Robbie Falk has come on board. He's our director of content, and the stuff he is putting out about our athletes. Well, you've met. Seems maybe I heard you guys before, but man, he's been outstanding because he's putting out content about our athletes. He's talking about recruiting. And I know one of the things that people will be a little surprised by is, and Brian, I'm not going to tell you any surprises. You know, Robbie has opinions. Okay. And so this isn't an effort to choke off those opinions. We want real, honest dialogue with the fan base, and we want to get them to know our athletes, and we want to tell their stories, and we want to talk about games. You know, one thing we've been doing after baseball games, we've been getting on and having a round table, Bart, Gregory, Robbie, and me, and just kind of talking through it. And look, in college sports, there's good and there's bad. What we want to do is talk about what's going on fairly. And I think a lot of people have been surprised about the level of content that they've gotten and the amount. And I couldn't be more excited about the work that he's doing because it's been outstanding.
Zach, how much can this platform truly grow Mississippi State's NIL?
Yeah, I think time will tell some of that, Brian. You know, we were really excited about and pleased with the success of the launch. And when you look at some of the memberships, and I know one of the value adds for football season ticket holders, anybody that renewed their football season tickets has a membership to State 1878. In addition to that, the other members that have signed up. So I think time will tell how much we can, or how much State 1878 can drive new revenue. But what Charlie said is spot on. Is I think as we've evaluated every opportunity here, we want it to be authentically Mississippi State, authentic to us, to our fan base, to our athletes, and not just have some whiz bang out there. So as we continue to grow it, we'll be able to quantify it in a more way. But I know as we're in the basketball portals right now, the cost of competitive spends is not going away. So I can't emphasize it enough of the need for our fan base that, you know, is all about Mississippi State. You want to see competitive teams. This is a platform, an opportunity for you in addition to all the other offerings that we have out there.
I think Charlie's eye may have twitched when you mentioned the NIL for basketball there. I think I saw his eye go a little bit there. I think
my heart palpitated.
Charlie, you've been around long enough. Do you remember Mississippi State rolled out something that on the surface maybe you could say is similar to this with Hail State Plus? And we'll just be kind and say that didn't go the way anybody planned for it to. Why is this platform different than Hail State Plus?
Well, it's different for a lot of things. One, it's different in motivation. Our goal is to completely support the programs of Mississippi State athletics. We want to get behind them. But the other thing is that's different is, and I go back to something I said at the beginning, the commitment that we have received, the leadership we've received from the athletic department is in an unparalleled spot right now. And because of that, the commitment, the effort, the work, the access, it's going to be absolutely different. The other reason, and I spoke nicely of him again, it's going to pain me to keep doing it, but you know, we've engaged Robbie Falk, and Robbie is a pro. He's a veteran, and it's not something that you build and chase. It is something that you hire good people from the very beginning, and we're going to keep growing that team, by the way. And so we're just at the start of where we're going, but I can just tell you the commitment here is unlike anything that we've ever seen at Mississippi State in terms of making sure this is successful, and it's going to be.
Kind of a big picture question here, Zach, because I get this a lot. You know, in my job, we talk to a lot of fans, and they all ask me the same question. Like, does Mississippi State really have the NIL to compete in the SEC right now? I tell people all the time, like, they do. And the players that they brought in, they didn't just come because they really enjoy the Cotton District, right? You're having to do the NIL things to get those kind of players there and to have the kind of retention that Jeff Lebby had. this offseason that required NIL funds. What is, as an official statement as you can make, do you feel good about where Mississippi State stands right now in the NIL world?
Yeah, I'd say we've made incredible progress, Brian, just because of the quality of our people, the quality of our fan base, the quality of businesses that have really stepped up. But I would say that the rate of escalation, especially with the competitive nature of the SEC, we're going to need to continue to do more. So it's one of those things that when your kid comes home and says, "Hey, I made a 95 on my test," that's a pretty good grade. But can you go get a 96 and a 97? I think the same mindset has to apply with all of us Bulldogs. We can't celebrate progress. We got to look for, again, if we have aspirations to continue to be competitive or get back to wherever, whatever great stat or team you want to insert there, in this climate, we're going to have to continue to do more and continue to do more offerings. So, again, I'm overjoyed with the amount of tireless work by so many people to get us to where we're at, and investment by so many Bulldogs. But what we need is for everybody to understand, especially if you have an opinion or hey, we want to be successful. Well, those words have to come with some kind of action, because I know our team is working relentlessly to make sure we have an ecosystem in place that we can be competitive. But we're going to have to continue to feed that ecosystem. But also, it's not, we don't ever just want to say we're not being great stewards of any resources, and we're not continually trying to provide new experiences, new opportunities, new merchandise, whatever it might be, back to the Bulldogs who support us in such a meaningful way.
I think we got some questions answered today, so I really appreciate you guys coming in and joining me and helping our fans understand exactly what this new platform is and what it's going to do.
Brian, my only question is, have you joined yet?
I am a champion level member, sir. What are we talking about here? Also, nice pull over there.
You got my text this morning. Thanks.
Yeah, Charlie, where's the maroon? I got a maroon watch. What are we doing here? All right.
Whoa, that's a nice looking timepiece.
I can get you one if you want one. I got a guy for these, so we'll do that.
Hey. Oh.
All right. So when you guys stop,
I went my Giants watch today.
You
got the Saints one on?
I don't at the moment.
Why did I get you this watch? I
don't wear it all the time because I would scratch it up and stuff. I wear it when I'm dressing nicely.
I guess I wear it every day.
So
I've become a watch guy.
A lot of stuff in there. I'm still. There's one hang up that I've got, and a couple of our texters do.
Yeah.
You've got three different, since NIL started, you've got three different things that you've launched that you're asking people to give to.
Yeah.
And when you ask, where should their money go?
There was still some confusion there. Yeah, I agree.
That answer is they've got to. I know state fans some state fans that can't think with their brains, get mad at literally everything I say.
Yeah.
But I'm asking from the position of you here.
Right.
If you listen to that answer, they have got to have a better answer than the one that they gave there about where should the money go.
Basically, first off, the Bulldog Initiative is kind of not really inactive.
But
it's kind of inactive. I get that. I understand. Basically, from what I've talked to some other people, it's basically this: whatever you donate is fine. However you want to do it. If you want to go to State Excellence, if you want to go to State 1878, the difference is this. With State Excellence, you make the donation, and it's, hey, thanks for your donation. With State 1878, it's, thanks for your donation. Here are these perks. And so if you want perks, you need to be a member of State 1878.
It's a lot of memberships.
It is. It can be.
You can find a way to...
Not a lot of money, but people got a budget, whether they got a budget, but you do what you want to do there.
Yeah. Long conversation there.
It was. It was a good conversation.
Fans needed to hear
the
that.
Mississippi State fan base needed that information. In my
100%. Agreed completely. So appreciate them. I got called out for saying appreciate instead of appreciate. So appreciate them for giving you the time.
You can say appreciate. It's a word.
Apparently
it's like
not. Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. That's where they joined us. We'll be back in just a bit.
Talk Mississippi.
Here we go.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Correlation doesn't always equal causation. But the guy that had driving range lessons with Kevin Hart on Wednesday before the Masters, tripling the last hole to miss the cut, nobody else gave Kevin Hart driving range lessons. Only the guy that did tripled the last to miss the cut. I think that we might be onto something there. Those two things those paths may have crossed there, I think. Bryson hit his tee shot into the trees, skipped one up into the greenside bunker, couldn't get it out of the bunker, had to hit it again, but then missed the green with his second bunker shot, could not get up and down, tripled the last. He was inside the cut line by 2, and he tripled the last to miss the cut. Ugh.
That's a tough one.
He was a lot of people's pick to win this week.
It feels like if the cut line was -2, everybody would be going home, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, Rory McIlroy right now absolutely killing it. He's at 10 under. He's got a 4-shot lead. Nope, now he's at 11 under. He just birdied 17. My goodness.
He's 6 under on the day. He's got a 5-shot lead over the two guys in second, Sam Burns and Patrick Reed. Just
he has 8
right
birdies today, 2 bogeys, but he has 8
That's
birdies
tough,
today,
man.
And this has been a difficult day out there. Wow.
There's something funny if, like, Rory, who all these years, like, struggled to win the Masters, right? That was, like, the one thing he couldn't do. Then he finally wins one. It's going to be funny if he rolls off, like, 3 in the next 10 years or, 4 or 5 or something and then just becomes just this monster.
He's going to stack them. Hold on. Did he chip? He chipped in for a birdie on 17. He was way right of the green. Way right of the green. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch this one myself.
Pardon my take if you follow them. Tweeted the.
Well, they're going to get a DMCA. Isn't that what you said?
They did they shared the Masters.
I just went to the Masters Twitter feed here. So
here's
McIlroy on 17. Oh, that's got a chance, Michael. Oh, it's got a chance. Oh, yeah, that's a hell of a chip.
My goodness, man.
Pretty good.
When you're on fire,
pretty good.
When you're on fire, you're on fire. That's crazy. 601-879-4395. We are Sports Talk Mississippi. Michael Borky and Brian Haydad. Big baseball games upcoming this weekend.
Yeah.
You're headed to the ballpark here in a little bit.
I am. I'm looking forward to that. Getting my smoked wings and then settle in for some baseball. Big couple of weekends. We didn't give you the starting lineup, by the way. And that game, by the way, in Lafayette has been delayed. 7:30 first pitch. There's some weather down there in southeast or southwest Louisiana. So if you're down there for that one, 7:30 first pitch. Lineup for the Golden Eagles. Seth Smith starting at shortstop. He'll lead it off. Joey Urban's batting second and playing center. Kyle Morrison is he's playing second base and batting third. Davis Gillespie's in left. He'll clean it up. Matthew Russo, first baseman, batting fifth. Dre Barrett is the third baseman, batting sixth. Ben Higdon is the right fielder. He'll bat seventh. Tucker Stockman is the catcher. He'll bat eighth. And Ty Long's the DH tonight, batting ninth. Graydon Harris on the mound for the Golden Eagles.
Get to at least. You got to come back.
You got to win the series. Southern Miss is at the point now when we look at it from an RPI perspective. And they still got, this is a good series for them, and then being on the road helps. Texas State will be a good series for them as well. But they've got some clunkers coming up. You need to start sweeping some series, and this is I don't know what series they can lose and feel good about it. Feel good about where they are in terms of if they want to be a host when we get to Memorial Day weekend.
That's really exciting stuff.
That's just where they are. Southern Miss right now, currently, they're 14th in the RPI.
It's a good number right now.
That's a good number where they are right this second, but we're a little way off. Louisiana is 45th. So going on the road, those are quad one wins if they can get them this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But they have some, like I said, some clunkers coming up, some sub 100s coming up. And if you're not sweeping those, I mean, you got to find a way. You got to find a way. Southern Miss currently in the Sun Belt sitting at 7-5. To feel good about hosting, probably 19-11. I don't know if 18-12 in the Sun Belt, I don't know if 7 more Sun Belt losses would be too many for them. So we'll see. Mississippi State 7-5 in the SEC. They probably need to get to, just to host, 15-15 would probably be enough. That would be a disappointing place to be for Mississippi State. To be on the right side of the bracket, or I should say the left side of the bracket, where you're hosting the Super Regional, I would think 17, 18 would certainly get the job done there. Ole Miss, so if you're looking at it from that perspective, State needs to go 11-7 the rest of the way. Ole Miss probably to host with their schedule, 14-16 really might be enough, as tough as Ole Miss's schedule is.
Mm-hmm.
But you feel really good if you were 15-15. You feel like you're probably hosting. You may not be a top 8, but you're certainly hosting. So that's 10-8 the rest of the way.
Ole Miss got their first basketball portal commitment. I have no idea how to say the young man's last name. Not a clue. He's from Australia. But he played his freshman season at Pittsburgh, where he averaged 10-5. Well, really 10-6, 10-5.5. He's a 6'6", 220-pound small forward, wing. Shooting splits, you don't love him. 50% from the free throw line, 29% from three, but apparently he's kind of a dog. The type of player that you expect Chris Beard to have a whole lot of. Like, will do the dirty work, the physical stuff.
I see looking at the transfer portal, Denzel Aberdeen has gone back to Florida. Florida to Kentucky to Florida.
Oh, yeah, Kentucky people are melting down because
grand opening, grand closing.
That Baylor kid that they were tampering with really hard is just going to the NBA.
Oh, nice.
It's crazy about the transfer portal. The guy never entered the portal, but you had weeks of Kentucky, not Kentucky fans on Twitter, media, Kentucky's after that guy, and then
you remember a few years ago, they did that with Tolu Smith.
And Tolu
Smith. There was a Kentucky sports radio guy who said when Tolu announced he was coming back to Mississippi State, or just announced that, whatever, that he was like, this is somebody that was Kentucky who had been targeting. And I'm like, he wasn't in the portal.
And
you said the quiet part out loud.
That was the pill moment, right? Though that was like that. Yeah, this is obviously just how it is. They were a little bit more quiet about Hubbard, but Kentucky made a very
so this is the guy that
strong
we're
run
talking about
Hubbard.
here that's on the text line, the C Spire text line.
Yes.
Roman. We're going to go with Sulepa for now. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
former rugby player.
Mm-hmm. He's a big guy, physical basketball player.
Pitt is known for physical basketball, so should be should physically do the part for Ole Miss.
Got to get a lot of players though. I mean, you're flipping the roster basically. You're keeping Pinkins and you're keeping Comerdine, and I mean, not the entire roster hasn't entered the portal, but right. I think they're working on one more to keep, and then basically the rest needs to come from somewhere else at this point. So we'll see. Basketball is a lot more volatile than football.
Right.
A lot more roster flipping in basketball.
The rosters are small. So, in football, if you lose 5 players, you're like, wow, a lot of great retention. And in basketball, you lose 5 players. You're like, well, that's a third of the roster.
Yeah. I mean, Kiffin took 4 players to LSU with him, and everybody's like, wow, what a joke. He could only get 4? What an embarrassment.
If Will Wade took 4 of his NC State guys to LSU, they would be like, oh, my God, he just pillaged them.
His house would burn. His old house that he's trying to sell in Raleigh would get burned down. Although, have you seen the online conspiracy about how Will Wade actually never sold his Baton Rouge home?
No, I'll believe it.
Essentially passed it off to somebody and bought it back in January.
Well, didn't something like that happen with Kiffin?
Well, I mean, he just
his,
sent
his house in Oxford, like, he listed it for, like, way more or something.
Like some kind of alleged, like, possible fraud, real estate fraud. This is not that. It's just he started the process of moving. Internet conspiracy.
You think he, like, walked out the door, looked in the door, like, I'll be back.
Pretty much.
He Schwarzeneggered them. He's like, I'll be back.
But apparently there's some real estate transactions. Again, this is just an internet thing.
I love it, though.
That make it seem like if they are true and within context, he triggered the move back to Baton Rouge in late January, early February. I hope it's true. I mean, it's Will Way. I mean, come on. What do you expect out of Wiretap Will? Got a big commitment today, though, I think, didn't he?
Did he? I have no idea.
I think so. That Kansas State guard.
Oh, no. He went to Texas A&M. Haggerty?
Oh, is it Isaacs that he got then, Pop Isaacs?
I don't know who he got. I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked. I have not locked into to basketball portal recruiting as of yet. So,
not many reasons for us to at this point. But
I could be wrong, but I think Rory's about to birdie another hole here.
Is he really? Goodness gracious!
I could be wrong.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll wrap the week up with you next.
The Venable Glass traffic.
More Sports Talk Mississippi.
It's go time.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Well, say something.
Super Talk Mississippi.
I was correct. He was putting for birdie. And he made it.
67-65 for Rory McIlroy on a setup that has been really difficult. He takes the largest 36-hole lead into the weekend in the history of the tournament. He's at 12 under. Sam Burns, Patrick Reed at 6, Rose and Lowry and Fleetwood at 5. Pure domination. He had 9 birdies today.
Yeah.
And the court, like, again, it did not play easy. This is not a situation where you have, like when Xander won the PGA at Valhalla, that course was a joke. It was an absolute joke. It was not a major test at all. This is. And he just completely dominated it for 2 days. That's. But now it's time to bake the course out, dry it up, kill the greens. We can't have a weekend of bore.
Well, we might get that. That's a lot, man. That is a big lead after 2 days of the Masters. So,
got any final thoughts into the weekend?
Well, it goes back to what we talked about at the beginning of the show. It doesn't feel like it on the surface, but these are both must-win series for all three schools. I shouldn't say both. For Southern Miss going down to Louisiana, they need to come away with 2 wins. For LSU, for Ole Miss hosting LSU, they need to come away with 2 wins at least. For Mississippi State hosting Tennessee, they need to come away with 2 wins. Everybody does that. We come back on Monday when we re-adjourn on Monday. If we're talking about 3 series wins, everybody is still exactly where they need to be to get where they want to go at the end of this season. Somebody's out of that. We talk about one of these teams lost their series. They've got ground to make up at that point. You know, if you're Mississippi State and you lose this series, you've lost 2 series in a row at home. That's not great, especially as Bart told us. You know, 3 of your final 5 weeks are on the road. For Ole Miss, you lose a series at home. You've lost 2 series at home in a row.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Can't have that.
Can't have that. If you're Southern Miss, you've I don't know if you're just playing with your food or if the Sun Belt's just better than we thought it was going to be, but you've put yourself in a position where you've got to start piling up wins if you want to host. All three, we are on the precipice of all three schools being able to host, but they've got to take care of their business. And if we do that, we got a chance to have a magical month of June here in the state of Mississippi.
Hopefully that happens. It's been too long since we've had one of those. We got a taste of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that the last one was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Can't have that. Yeah, we can't go that long in between meaningful June baseball again.
Right. I'd like to say, we're going to have some meaningful June baseball. All three of these teams will be in the postseason. That's not the question. It's do we have three hosts in the state of Mississippi? Do we finally get are we going to get Ole Miss and Southern Miss paired up again? Are we going to get Mississippi State and Southern Miss paired up? Are we finally going to get a super regional, the Starkville Regional and the Oxford Regional paired together to set up the super regional that will break attendance records? May never be touched again. I mean, that's we're on the precipice. We have the ability to do that if all three teams can just handle their business the rest of the way.
Good stuff.
Yeah. You imagine, Friday, Sports Talk Mississippi, live in Starkville, live in Oxford, live in Hattiesburg with one of these regionals going on.
Oh, man.
You imagine if it was, right now, we're just talking about where teams are right now, right? But what if it was the Starkville Super Regional, the number 6 seed Mississippi State, the number 11 seed Ole Miss? I mean, that's magical to think about. Could happen.
It could happen. As always, we appreciate you guys making our show a part of your day, your week, anytime, wherever you are. We appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you get them. If you were a Spotify user and it went away, it is now back, but you have to resubscribe on Spotify. It's a new feed, but we're there. Search Sports Talk Mississippi. You get this show uploaded to you commercial-free every single day. And we'll send you in on the weekend. Monday, of course, we'll have Rory McIlroy domination recap to get to.
Very possibly, yes. 3
baseball coaches to recap the weekend. And next week, we are getting into draft mode.
Yeah.
For
the 2 days that I'm here. Anyway.
For the 2 days that Hey Dad's here.
Yeah.
So glad you guys are with us. We will see you on Monday. Good night.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.